Good morning. Hope you're all okay. Hopefully this is all set up all right and we are live. I'll get some of your comments up so I can say hello. Haven't seen you since the beginning of the week, so hope you've all been doing all right, had a good week. I'm going to show you today how to make these gorgeous flower brooches. These were actually one of the first projects that we did at the start of lockdown when we started doing these videos. So many of you made them, which was really lovely. If you head over to our Totally Handmade group on the Facebook page, you'll see that there were so many images and pictures that you all shared, which was really lovely. So we thought we've got some new bicones in, an amazing bundle offer for today. So I thought anyone who missed us all those, 22 weeks ago, we thought we'd have a little go. Good morning, Alicia. Hi, Margaret, Jan, Paula, Margaret, Linda. Morning, everyone. Hi, Helen. Yes, I'm doing a couple of hours at work. Oh, that's a shame. But hopefully you'll get some time off in the week. Good morning, Lucy. Hi, Jenny. Morning, Kitty. Kitty's here as well. Hello. So yeah, hopefully you've all had a good week. Been busy with Kitty, lots of different makes. And then today we'll go back to some wire work. Now I've got some amazing bundles to show you. Sorry you can see my phone at the bottom, but if I put it any lower, then you don't get a good view. So these are the brooches that we're going to be making using some lovely bicones. These actually have a pearl in the middle. I'm going to show you today just how to do them with your bicones. Lucy says, OMG, just saw the bundles. I really want all of them. I'm going to show you them now. So if you head over to the page, I'll show you on my iPad, but then I'll show you them in real life as well, so you can have a little look-sees. If you go to our Facebook tutorials section on the website, just click on flower brooches, you'll see that all of the categories are in here. So any of the videos that we've done, you'll have everything in there. Now there's a PDF download for today, so if you just want the instructions, that's on offer as well. Because it's bank holiday weekend, we actually have a sale across the whole website. So go and have a little look, check it out. It does mean that everything is on offer. So even the wires, I'm going to be using 0.4mm today. They are all on offer as well. We've got bundles of 20 meters, 55 meters. So depending on the projects that you're doing, there's going to be plenty there for you. Brooch backs, of course, to make your brooches that we'll do today. But have a look at these. These are the bicones. So we've got 3 different color selections, Oceanic, Phoenix and Venus. And I'm going to show you these in real life now. You'll get 20 strings. They should be £30 and they are down to $14.99. So if that doesn't put enough bling in your life, I don't know what else will. Here is your Venus. So there are beautiful peach tones in here. Some fuchsia pink. They also have, some of them have like an Aurora Borealis finish to them. So you've got that AB finish in there. Purples, lilacs, deep purple, which is absolutely gorgeous, and I'm going to show you the flowers that I've made using these. Now to make your flower you only need 2 strands of beads, but you can mix and match some of these colours. I just think they're absolutely gorgeous, and remember you're going to get 20 strands. Lucy says time to do a stock top up. Absolutely. When we do the bundles like these and the offers, this is the time to get everything that you need. Now, of course, these are going to be fantastic for any jewellery project. But I'm going to use these today for the flowers, which I think is a nice introduction to working with wire. Really nice and simple to do. Look at all of these beautiful colours. And then Phoenix, which is just stunning. This is your autumn, even some Christmas as well. Although the flowers, if you did them in red, look just like poinsettias. So that would be really nice. Maybe you could have some beaded poinsettias for the tree, maybe for the Christmas dining table. Absolutely gorgeous. Camille's saying, I know the sale, bought a load last night. Oh, I'm glad you found the sale already. Sparkle heaven, exactly. If you haven't already signed up to our newsletters, then you will get notifications when we have sales and offers on. And of course you can catch our Facebook Lives every day to see all of these. So we'll always give you the heads up. I think I might use the red set today. So this is how I've used the bicones from today's offer. So I've made the flowers and done them in like a sort of 2-tone, which looks really lovely. That's your blue, the lovely purple, and I'll show you how to attach them onto the brooches as well. So I'm going to be using the 0.4mm wire. Nice and easy to work with. Oh, let me put my, there you go. Hello. Might as well use all the multi-camera angles. Should we do, let's do a nice red one, because this is, the Phoenix is the one that I haven't used yet. Maybe these two would look quite nice together. Let's do this. So I'll just use a strand of each. You will get double strands of everything. Look at the sparkle on those, they're gorgeous. You will get double strands of everything. So I'm going to use the deeper, darker red, I think, today. And we'll make a lovely little brooch. Kitty is putting up some of the links for you as well. Mina's saying she loves the pink bundle. It's a lovely colour. Yeah, this one's really nice. I thought I'll keep this one. And then just as a reminder, this is what we're going to be making. So you're going to need your cutters, wire cutters, and also some round or flat nose pliers. So to begin with, oh, I've had a load of stuff come off of the bundle. Sorry, mucky mat. Okay, so we'll cut some of these off first of all. I think I'm going to go for the lighter colour on the inside of our flower. So we'll just take a few of these off first of all. I'm going to make the whole thing with you today as well. It's not too long or too involved of a make. Lucy's saying, oh dear, full basket again today. Or with these bundles, you're not going to be disappointed. The amount of beads you have in here is phenomenal. And let me know what your favourite projects are to do with bicones as well. Let me know what you've been making. So I'm going to go for the darker colour on the outside. So we'll separate a few of these, have some of these on the mat here. And then, like I said, I'll make the whole thing with you. We'll keep these two to the side. Angela says, I tried this, but it didn't look right. So I'm looking forward to seeing it. Oh, excellent. Sometimes it's really nice when we go and review the projects again. So I'm going to start off with about 30 centimetres of wire, a little bit more. So if you use your bead mats, I always just do a length of the bead mat per petal. And then we're going to start off by adding 3 of our outside colour. So that's going to be my darkest colour. We'll do the lighter colour on the inside. So 3 bicones onto the end of your wire. Bring that down to the very middle. I think I've probably cut this wire a little bit short, but we'll see. We might be okay. And then you're going to add on your 3 right down to the middle. And then we're going to take our wire and go back through 2 of them. So you can see that's looping round. Make sure that your wire, in fact, I know this is too short, so I'm going to cut another piece just now. I don't want to be running out halfway through. Preempt the problems that I'm going to have. Okay, picking up 3 of our bicones. Darker colour, so this is going to be on the outside. 3 of those, all the way down to the middle of your wire. And then we are going to cross back over and through 2 of them. So taking your wire down in the opposite direction to only 2, like this. And then holding your beads in the very middle, because you want to make sure that you're going to have equal lengths on either side. I'm going to pull this down and I'm going to make it so that the first bicone will just sit really nicely in the very middle of our first one. And you can see I'm pulling it quite tightly, 0.4mm thickness of our wire, so it has a good strength to it, and that's going to sit nice and neatly in there. So you can pull it so that they're just going to sit on either side of your first bicone. And then for the next row, so we're going to increase our count every row. So this time I'm going to introduce the lighter colour. So we're going to go 1 dark, 1 light and 1 dark. Bringing those down, and then we'll take our other strand of wire and cross it down through in the opposite direction all the way through. Now, to get this looking really nice and neat, because when you are increasing your bead count, sometimes it can be a little bit trickier. So I'm going to take the edge of this wire and I'm just going to fold it out so that, just encouraging, so I'm just kind of running my finger over that, just to make sure that it will sit not right up close to the beads, and I've got that nice little edge, and then I push it down. So I'm going to squidge it down so that those beads will sit exactly where I want them to on top of my bicones, and then I can tighten it. So because you want to make sure you've got that nice little edge on each side, if you pull it too tightly, you'll actually find that they nudge up and it's not going to look nice and neat and properly finished. When you start decreasing your bead count, it's so much easier. But for now, this is the easiest way as we're increasing to be able to do it. Oh, Margaret says she's got her beads, but she's missed the beginning. Don't worry, this will all be uploaded, so you'll be able to see after we have finished. So now increasing that bead count again, I'm going to go for 1 darker bead, 2 lighter ones and 1 darker. So you'll see each row, you just add 1 extra bead on. So you've got 1, 2, 3, and now we're up to 4. And again, I'll straighten out that wire so that it's going to come around the outside of the beads, taking that other strand, passing it all the way down through. Missed that last one. Pushing it all the way down, tightening it up. So you just want to make sure that you're not tightening one side or the other too much. Pushing them down just so that they sit in the right position, and that's going to give you these lovely curved edges, and then you can tighten it. And just hold them all in place with your index finger and your thumb and pull that wire through so you get that lovely finish. And then the last row is a count of 5, so that's as wide as we're going to go. You can make all sorts of different shapes out of these as well. So I'm going to do my darker one, 3 in the middle, and a darker one to edge on the outside, crossing back down through. And you can hold your wire side by side, sliding those along. I thought I turned off all my notifications again. Sorry. Terrible. Sliding them along down the edges, just encouraging that wire around the outside. And that will give you a nice, neat finish. And then this one is our largest row. So our count of 5 is as big as we're going to go. Now, if you wanted to, you could even take these wires and sort of just embed them in a little bit more to the beads themselves so that you don't have that larger gap. It's entirely up to you. It will give you a slightly neater finish with some of them. You can see I'm just encouraging that to go right up to the beads, almost just giving it that little indent. And that can make it look a little bit neater. So if you don't like the edges on the wires, then you can neaten them up in that way. I'm trying to make lots of boys' bracelets to send goodie bags to my grandsons in Singapore. Oh, Camille, that sounds amazing. I'm sure they will absolutely love them. What beads are you using? How are you doing them? Would love to know. So I've got 3 in the middle of my biggest count. So now we're going to start stepping back as well. So we'll do 2 on this one. So 1 darker one, 2 lighter ones, 1 darker one. And out of your £15 bicones, I'm only using 2 strands to make these, to make a whole flower. So you could even make a bouquet out of them. You'll see how much easier it is for these beads to sit nice and flush as we start decreasing. They're just going to pop into place really beautifully. And that is a big loop on that side. Let's squish him in a bit. Get rid of that gap. And they come together super quickly, which is really nice. We can put these onto brooch backs, which I'll do at the very end. But you can add these onto anything. They're great on little makeup bags. If you put a little brooch on them, you can add them as a detachable accessory. You can obviously wear them as a brooch on your scarves and your coats, but you can add them onto bags and things like that as well. You can even sew them on to things like your cushions. Or speaking of cushions, I've got my lovely cushion from Kitty. I went and blimmin' left it last time I was there, so that came in my parcel this week. So thank you, Kitty. I'm using it now, supporting my back. Okay, so the last ones, I'm going to take this all the way down to 1 bead. So this is my final little row of 2. Oh, Chef's saying, good morning, my extended family. Have a lovely day, everyone. Oh, thank you. Lucy says, how come when I tried this, it was really floppy? Is it because my wire was too thin? Yes, very possibly. So if you use anything less than a 0.4, so if you were to use a 0.3mm wire, then this will be very floppy. So if you're going to use them on things like your brooches, you want them to have that rigidity, so it's going to hold. So you can see here the leaf itself, the petal, is going to hold really nicely into place, and I can also mould it. That means that it's going to keep some of that lovely shape. With your last one, we're just going to pinch that in. You can use your pliers if you don't have the strength in your hand. pinch that in so that wire will sit really nicely underneath the bicone, and that's one of our petals done. I really like this red. I think that looks very pretty. So that's one of them. Just another 4 to go. So I know it's a pattern repeat. Hopefully you won't get too bored watching me do it. But I want you to see in real time making the whole thing. Now, once you master using your beads in this way, there's so many different shapes that you can do. One of the ones that we have done is a little bow. They're really cute as well because you can add them again onto any brooches. If you're a card maker as well, if you do lots of other crafts, you can always use these on things like your paper craft as well, a little detachable gift. They could be a gift tag onto something, and then you've got something that you can remove as well. Just remember to keep introducing that lovely colour, and that's going to give you something nice and different. It's just really going to make them look even more sparkly by introducing that lighter colour through the centre as well. So just keep on crossing these over, and again when you get to the increasing of the beads, bringing that wire around the outside because it's a thicker wire. So if you have made them before and they were really floppy, like Lucy was just saying, just make sure that with thinner wires, you don't put it too tightly either, because anything thinner than this, the more you sort of pull it, tighten it, move it around, they do become quite brittle as well. So just remember not to overwork your wire, because you'll end up with pieces that will snap off as well. So this is actually a very similar technique and form to the little fish that Kitty has been making as well. So if you are thinking that you like the look, you want to do something a little bit different, you will need your thinner wire for the fish. But we've had a couple of Facebook Lives on those. Kitty made a fish, and then she also did the seahorse as well. And they are super cute, and it's just such a great way of making something out of wire using very simple techniques, but the results are really effective. Increasing up to my 3. Probably should have made a few of these petals beforehand for you, but thought you might like to see the whole thing. Oh, Sylvia's saying she should be cleaning her craft room. Sorry for distracting you, Sylvia. I've had a little tidy up today. I really need to sort this place out. I've had quite a few TV shows. I will be on Create and Craft this Wednesday with a Totally Beads show. Haven't done a jewellery show for a little while, actually. That's been a few weeks. So Wednesday, 9 o'clock on Create and Craft TV. At the moment, my study is just absolutely full of samples and beads. It's a bit of a dumping ground at the moment. Creative mess, I think we'll go for. A lot of filing by piling. Lorna, question: could you make a poppy shape for Remembrance Day? Yes, you could. So you'd want them to be a little bit rounder. So you wouldn't have your one as the starter. You could probably start with 3 or 4 around the outside. Actually, for your poppy, you're going to want to go a bit bigger. A really good thing to do is just draw the shape first of all. So for something like the poppy, you could probably start with one in the centre here, and then add 4 beads around the outside. If I get a chance, I'll have a little go in a minute. If you started with 1 in the middle, add 4 around the outside, then you'd probably have to go to like 6 or 8. So each time you would be increasing it, and you would be bringing your beads all the way around. So you would be getting more of a curved shape. I will be doing poppies using our French beading techniques. So keep an eye on that as well, because we can make them using a different technique with your wire. But something like this, you could probably come up with a little pattern for that using just this little wrap over technique. But if you've seen how we make the roses and the orchids and things like that, using the wire, I'll also come up with the little poppies to show you within the next month or so. So just decreasing this one back down. These bicones are really lovely. I think you're getting amazing value for money in these deals as well. That one's just got a hole going in the wrong direction, so we'll get rid of that one. 20 strands, so only needing 2 for your flowers, so you're going to be able to make at least 10 of them out of this, which is really lovely. Hope someone's done the little angry face by accident, a slip of the finger. You've got your little 3 on the bottom here. Now, if you find that they go wonky like this, it's just because one side is slightly tighter than the other. So just shift those over, allow them to interlock into the previous beads, take the side that has that little bit of slack and pull that through. And then that will straighten it up. Rachel says, I'm getting so many Christmas present ideas. These would be fantastic for Christmas. Obviously, they're going to look like poinsettias in your red, or even in some of the oranges as well would be really beautiful. I think these would be great to sit around candles. You could use them as napkin rings as well. If you're making your own Christmas crackers, you could use them as embellishments for those as well. So lots of different takes on them, and they really don't take too long. We're probably looking at about 45 minutes to make one of them. Obviously, you're going to be a lot quicker than me because you're not going to have to keep on stopping to talk. When you get to the end, just give that a nice little pinch in. And there we go. What I might do, good morning, Earl. We might be able to show you how to add these onto things like napkin rings as well. We're going to wire wrap it onto the brooch. So it's very, very simple to do. And then hopefully that will give you the insight to be able to attach it onto anything. And then just keep on giving yourself that little bit extra wire as well. I know it looks a bit excessive and I do have quite a lot left over. But there's lots of different things that you can use your leftover wires for. I've got some lovely wire wrapped earring kits on telly on Wednesday. And there's about 5 different shaped designs in them. So lots of wire work this week. It's one of my favourite mediums to work with just because the shapes that you can achieve I think are really lovely. Lorna says, thank you, Sarah. I thought it might be nice to make some sort of flower poppy for remembering those lost to COVID-19 as well and in the armed forces. Yeah, that's a really nice idea. You could do a rainbow one. I think rainbow has become the symbol for this year, hasn't it? Which would be very sweet. And I think the great thing is when you're making them, you can give absolutely any meaning. You can do them in all sorts of colours. It's just having that little bit of personalisation to them. So you can see it's coming together nice and easily. Camille, if you stopped after the 6th row, it looks like a tree. So you could use green for Christmas trees. That would be adorable. I always try and add some sort of handmade element to my gift wrapping for Christmas. And I think these would be really lovely with a little bow and then with these attached onto the gifts. And then, of course, everyone can keep them. So I normally do things like with little pine cones, some hollies and berries and things like that. Not real, all faux ones. Artificial ones so that you can then just pop them on the tree afterwards. Year before last, I think it was, we actually used some beads that had letters on them, and John and I spent, oh my goodness, hours and hours spelling out everyone's names and adding them onto the ribbons. But then it was really cute because then everyone had their name in beads that they kept and hung them on the tree as the morning unfolded, which was really nice. Sort of like glitter berries and all things like that. So I think I might do these this year, which look really nice. So many different takes on them and ideas. Angela says, I've started a beaded poppy, started with 3 and made a triangle shaped rounded at the top and made 5 of them to put together. That sounds absolutely perfect. Sounds like you've got the technique on point. And when you're learning with these, I mean, you can make hearts out of these. There's all sorts of shapes that you can create. You just want to get used to starting to work with the wire and moulding it into shape. I love that everyone just shares their ideas. It's really lovely and hopefully inspiring everyone too. So don't forget to share your pictures on the handmade groups. We've got a lovely group, so many of you in there. We've got, I think, just over 2,000 now, nearly. Well, we were nearly up to 2,000 last time I had a little look. And then any of our bundles that you buy, any of our materials, any of our tutorials that you've followed, share your pictures. Kitty and I absolutely love to see what you've been making, and how you adapt our designs as well. Obviously, we come up with designs to inspire you, and then I know so many of you like to put your own little take on them, so do share as well. We'd love to see. Good morning, Doris. Morning, Sarah. From Ellesmere Port Market this morning, but not busy. What are we making this morning? We're doing lovely little flower brooches this morning, Doris. And I'm just adding in some lovely little colours so that you can have that lighter colour on the inside. Just give it a nice bit of change. Super simple and very minimal on materials as well. As you can see, the technique is not difficult. As soon as you get used to your tension, good morning, Edward. As soon as you get used to your tension, working with the wire, moulding it so that it sits really nicely, you can achieve some lovely results very, very simply. Okay, so that's our 3, just 2 more to go, not taking too long. Hopefully Kitty's still there, Mina, and she can answer that question for you. Sarah, have you got a sore throat? You sound a bit croaky this morning. Yeah, I have a bit. The problem is where we are surrounded by farmers' fields and everything is getting ploughed and harvested at the moment. So I'm a bit congested, a bit hay fevery. It's the huge combines that kind of drive up and down through the village, and obviously all the fields are being collected. I love watching it done. It's amazing. We were driving around yesterday, went into Stamford for the day, had a little walk around and a little coffee, which was nice. We've got John's parents here at the moment, so we're having a nice bit of family time. But yeah, I'm finding that I love sleeping with the windows open, which is probably my downfall, because then of course everything's coming in. So yeah, a little bit croaky, but I'm all good, feeling all right. I'll just keep on taking sips of my coffee. And I've been in the studios quite a lot as well, and there's air conditioning in there. And I find that if I have kind of more than 1 or 2 days in there in a week, it tends to affect me for a week or so. Just dries you out, doesn't it? Always used to get like that after we'd done shows at like the NEC and everything. The NEC for a few days, everybody would always come away with croaky voices. Okay, so we've just got 2 more to do, nearly there. And then we'll start wire wrapping these onto the brooches. Doris is saying, good morning, Kitty and Simon. Hope everyone's well. They've been doing an amazing job in the warehouse this week. Did you see the pictures on the Facebook page of the delivery? Good grief. It's you guys thought it was bead heaven when Kitty gave you the first tour. Should see what's in there now. It's amazing. I think she's probably going to be doing another tour this week, Kitty, is that right, on Friday? Giving you a little sneak peek of some of the delivery over on the Facebook page. They've been sharing pictures of some of the new beads that have come in, some of the new colours. I've had a few pictures as well so that I can start designing and thinking of how I'm going to use some of the new beads, which is really nice. Good morning, Patricia. Everyone, sorry I'm a bit late. Just had a visit from my youngest grandson, Hayden, who is 16 years old, 6'3" tall. Very proud of him. Oh, that's lovely. Hope you had a lovely visit. It's a bit crazy. Yeah, I saw my nephews a few weeks ago for the first time in quite a while, and they've both had birthdays during lockdown as well. And they just grow so tall, growing up very, very quickly. God, if he's 6 foot at 16, he's going to be super tall, isn't he? Doris says, yes, seen the lot, seen some of the new beads, absolutely gorgeous. Kitty and everyone in the warehouse, I'm sure, has been super busy unpacking them all. Okay, now if you wanted to make larger of these, flowers, then you can increase your bead count up to higher than 5. I've just got 5 on here because it makes a nice wearable size. Makes a nice wearable size for the brooches. But if you wanted something that would maybe sit in a pot, if you want to do a little display, maybe a table centerpiece, something that will go into the middle of maybe like your Christmas table, or even onto frames as well. You could use them in so many different ways, but you can affect the size as much as you want. I'm using 2 strands of beads to make a flower this size, which is probably about 3 inches wide, I would say. But I'll show you the bows in a minute as well. You can make some really lovely shaped bows using smaller counts of beads. You're in charge with them, so you can make them in any size you want. Sorry about the dogs. All right, Al. Look, everyone's busy, so he's just trying to get attention. Sorry if all your cats and dogs are now going crazy. Oh dear. Lucy says she loves the tours. Do hope Kitty does an open day next year. My old man said he would take me. Going to have to save up. Yeah, the tours. So open days is something that they used to do every couple of months, I think it was. Every sort of, every 3 maybe even. Curly, enough! He's so disciplined, isn't he? Dog does everything I tell him to. Yes, our open days are fabulous. We sometimes have little workshops going on as well. I'm hoping that we will all get back to the stage where obviously we can open up. Kitty, Simon and I were discussing it last time I was down there. There's a few different things obviously that we need to be able to do to keep everybody safe. And at the moment it's just not feasible. We just can't do it. It's just that little bit too risky, because of course everyone wants to touch everything and pick everything up, and we were trying to think of lots of different ways that we could maybe make it work. So we thought doing the virtual tours would be the best thing to do. Well, Django's getting involved now as well. So we just thought the virtual tours would be the best way for now. Hopefully it won't be too long and we can keep everybody safe and get everyone in the warehouse, because I know some of you are dying to come and see us. We were saying how nice it would be because we've had hundreds of you here. Sarah, make sure you don't have an unwanted guest. Don't worry, I've got John, Beth and his parents here. So they will be keeping the house safe. Yeah, it's I try whenever the dogs are barking, they are always telling me that something's going on, so I don't just tell them to shush all the time. But there are other people here. I'm fine. Yes, with the after lockdown, once everything hopefully tries to get back to normal, we were saying how amazing it would be to organise some sort of meetup for all of us to be able to see each other, maybe doing some nice little workshops where we can get together. Obviously, we know we've got so many people from across the whole country, and actually across the world. We've had people from lots of other countries joining in our Facebook lives, but it would be so nice to do some sort of meetup. So yeah, when we get back to doing the open days, it would be really lovely to see you all. Chef says, all I can say is that the warehouse is an Aladdin's cave. That's why me and my sister-in-law spend at least 3 hours in there. Can't wait to visit everyone. Yeah, that's it, Chef, because it's not a quick visit, is it? It's not a quick tour. So if we have to limit our numbers, we want you guys to get the most out of a visit. So yeah, we just can't do it yet. But yeah, there are regulars on here and local to the warehouse who come to the open days, to the workshops and everything as well. And they always give amazing reviews to praise the team in what they set up and with our workshops as well. So it is worth a visit when we get back to doing it. Loved the tour the other week, so can't wait to see another one on Friday. It would be lovely to have some sort of meet up with everyone in the group. Yeah, it really would, wouldn't it? I'm not sure how we can do it, but we'll sort something. It's on mine and Kitty's radar. We will have a little look. You'd have to give us plenty of notice so we can book flights, says Marion. Or we could have an international meetup, couldn't we? Wouldn't it be amazing? We'll have a beaders retreat, which would be great. I'm pretty sure we'd all need a holiday after all this, won't we? Right, so this is our last petal. Just going down into my last little count, adding these in, and our last couple of rows. Have a motorhome, can travel, and lots of room for beads. Oh, Anne, that sounds amazing. I think so many people are doing staycations this year, aren't they? I've booked a week off of work in a couple of weeks' time, just so that John and I can have a bit of time together. We can't get away anywhere. Everywhere in the UK is fully booked. Don't really feel it's safe enough to travel abroad. So, yeah, if you've got a motorhome, that's just the best outcome, isn't it? John does have his camper van that he stays in for work, that he has to use for work. So I don't really want to give him a week off and then go away in the van and do a camping trip, because he's always away in it. So for him, it's not really a holiday. But we'll sort something. Could do with a nice motorhome, couldn't we? I think we're just going to have a nice week off together. No DIY, no more housework, no work. We're just going to have a nice bit of family time together. Okay, last petal. I've actually got no housework going on this week. Our kitchen, well, mind you, tomorrow we need to paint the ceiling because that was all plastered. I still haven't picked my tiles. Picking kitchen tiles is really tricky. We've had a lot of housework done recently, so it would be nice just to have a break from it all. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. There's my 5. Now, out of my strands, I've still got all of these beads left over. Let me move these out of the way. I've still got all these lighter ones, and probably about a quarter of my strand. So just by making my 5 petals, I could probably make maybe another 3 out of these, I would say. So you are going to have leftovers. If you're doing a brooch, maybe it'd be really nice to make a matching pair of earrings or something like that as well. Or even a smaller one, something like a bow. So you would have enough left over for those as well. So with your bows, I start off in the middle with my 1, and we do exactly the same count. This time I take it up to the 5 in the middle, and then you start decreasing all on the same row. So it's just like a petal, except you continue on to the other side as well. So back down to 1, and then you also increase all the way back up and all the way back down, and then you can bring the 2 together. With these ones, I actually don't go to 1 at the very end. You just go to 2. My bad. And then you cross those over both through 1, and then you've got a little bow that you can attach on. Obviously this one is tiny, but you could go to absolutely any size. And these just look really cute on little hair grips. You can put them onto bags, brooches, obviously tie your scarves together with them as well. But that's a really nice way to use those leftover beads. You and Kitty, make it more enjoyable. Thank you. Oh, thank you, Chef. Also, thank you to all the staff in the warehouse. They have done an amazing job keeping everybody's orders going. I love the messages that we always get through. Everyone's saying they kind of ordered within the space of a couple of days, and then they've got their parcels through. The guys do an amazing job. They've been working super hard. Okay, so to start constructing this flower, we want them all to sit, and you can see you get this lovely shape that comes together without much effort, which is great. If you're going to be wrapping these onto your brooch backs, and I've just got a little brooch here, little 2-hole brooch. If you're going to be wrapping them on, then don't bind the stems too much. I got carried away when I was doing these and have wound the stems quite tightly. I'll have to undo these to be able to attach them on to my brooch backs. But you can see out of the 3 colours, this is the Oceanic mixture and bundle of your beads. This one is, what was the other one called? Venus. Your pinks and purples. I used a silver wire with the pinks and purples, a gold with the blue. You can use it as a slight little accent. And then I have used the Phoenix mixture colourway to make the one that we're going to construct now. Now I just need to add on my little centre stem. So I'm going to cut off a little bit of my leftover wire from these. So remember I said there's lots of different uses for your surplus wire leftovers. Oh, Jackie's saying I received my order the very next day. Thank you, team. Doing good. I'm going to go for the lighter colour, just so it picks up that accent and highlight from inside of the petals. Just 3 of my beads and a leftover little bit of wire is all we need. But as you saw in some of the other ones, you can use pearls and things like that as well. So I'm going to take 3 of them, just bring it together into a little point, and then give this a little wrap, just to hold in place. So tiny couple of little wraps, and then this will go straight into the centre of our flower. Okay, so remember to pinch together that little wire down at the bottoms, like so. I like to construct my flower piece by piece. So I'll bring 2 of them together. I then flatten the petals in onto each other, and I'll give this a little twist. Now remember, if you're attaching it onto your brooch backs, don't create too much of a stem. So a couple of twists up here. You can open up those wires. You'll see I've separated them out, and give it a little twist. Don't over twist because it will snap. I'm going to do another 2. Sitting them next to each other, folding them up on top of each other, pinching together so that my wire goes right up close to those beads. Separate out those stems, and that will keep, just like when we do our French beading and we twist just to create that little stopper up at the top. We put our finger in, put our hand in, open up your fingers and twist it round. That means you're kind of moving those coils, those twists right up to the top, which is going to give you that nice and neater finish. And then my final one, so I'm going to add that one onto here as well. Just taking this extra piece, I always find that the 2 will give you much neater finish. Bringing this one up to the top, and I'm just going to wrap him around 2 or 3 times as well. If you do all 3 of them together, a lot of the time it will give you too tight a cluster. But can you see now that I can add these in, and it gives me that little bit of dimension, that little bit more area. And I'm just twisting these out, taking our second set. I can separate those out. Again, it just gives you that little bit more dimension and detail. Bringing these together, right in. So you can see I'm pushing that wire so that the 2 of those will meet. Taking that extra stem, and again, twisting around the top. I'm trying to keep it all as neat and tight up to the flower as I can, and then just finding that position where they'll all sit. So I'm then going to arch it, so I'm just using my finger to arch that base, which kind of pops the leaf upwards and also gives me that lovely little coil on the outside, so you can see the dimension and shape. And we had a few ladies saying that some of them were a little bit floppy before. If you're using a thinner wire, then that isn't going to hold that shape. So where these are all now sat really nice, if I twist that up, you can see they don't flop on the outside. It just keeps that lovely shape. Now, these 2 aren't joined here, and that's where our little piece in the centre will come into play. So you can actually go taking one strand through one little edge of the wire and then through to the other, and I just like to do that because it will bring in those petals nice and tightly, pull in that center, and that's just going to give me that lovely color in the very middle. And again, I'm just going to twist that around, so I'm holding all of that flower together. I've already shaped it, but we can reshape, pushing that into the middle and just giving that a nice neat little twist. Now you can separate some of these out. You've got all those tight coils up at the top. Sometimes these will wrap around each other, that's fine. Just make sure you've got that nice tight coil and holding up at the top. Lorna says, love the blue one and the purple one. Yeah, they're gorgeous colours. I think they'll be so lovely. As it gets a little bit colder, I actually wore my wool coat yesterday, walking around. It was a little bit rainy, quite blustery. And we'll just start bringing out our lighter jackets, maybe a few scarves, little things like this are just going to look really beautiful, just to give us that lovely pop of colour, and start the autumn and winter wardrobe coming in, but not looking dull and dreary. It's going to look nice. Oh, Patricia, you're so clever, Sarah, and you make it look so easy and beautiful. Oh, thank you. The majority of the time, it looks really simple because it is. Obviously, I have been working with wire for years, but you will get used to working with it as a medium. As soon as you learn what it does and how it moves and how it holds, it becomes very simple. And then you just need to get it to do the right thing. Okay, so attaching onto our brooch back, I have 2 holes on my brooch up at the top. So I'm going to take I'm going to create 2 stems of wire. So I'm just going to take these and twist them together. So I've just split it just randomly. I've just taken where they are sitting in the little form that we have created and twisting them. Make sure you always twist in the same direction, because if you were to now twist these but it was in the opposite direction as you have twisted your flower, you're just going to undo some of your hard work. So can you see I've created these 2 little vines, these 2 branches coming off, and we'll bring these through. Now when it comes to your brooch back and wire wrapping these onto things, we were saying earlier they could be napkin rings, they could be Christmas cracker embellishments, you could use them to put onto your Christmas tree, so many different uses for them. When it comes to wire wrapping them on, there is no right or wrong, so long as the functionality of it is correct, so long as it holds into place, it does its job, then wire is very forgiving and you can get away with all sorts of different techniques with it. Our heating came on today, just on the thermostat. I actually put the heating on day before yesterday. Beth and I were watching a film. John had popped out. He came back in. He was like, oh, it's roasting in here. But we were sat there. We got really cold. Ours is on continuous as well, just on the thermostat. So it just kicks in. Okay, so you can see now that flower is going to sit really nice and neatly up on top, holding that shape. We can reform it and reshape it afterwards as well. I'm just going to move that needle out of the way so I don't stab myself. Just pull it nice and tightly, evenly on either side, and I'm just pulling each one so that I get it sitting roughly in the middle. And now I'm just going to take one strand, I'm going to bring it over the top, so I'm going to push it down so that the flower is as near to that as I can get it. I'm going to take this strand up and over the top, and I'll bring it round to the left. And then we'll take the other strand, I'm going to bring it up and over and round to the right. Now I could probably cut off a lot of these other strips of wire so that I've only got a few. But just for time's sake, I'll keep it as it is. And then by bringing it up and around, so I'm kind of wire wrapping it onto the base, but my wire has come up and around the flower in one direction and up and around in the opposite direction. That will then, when I pull these nice and tightly, will stop the flower tipping up on top of the brooch back, because the brooch is back and we've put the flower up on top, which is going to give it that little bit of movement. So just by binding it around, that will give me a nice neat finish. And it will just hold that flower nice and proud up on top. I'm going to cut this little bit of wire away because that's a little bit short, as is that one. And then you can wrap down back onto the brooch, cross that over, and we can squash that in with our pliers to secure it. And then we can just trim the edges. And then you'll just take your flat nose pliers just to give it a little squish to make sure it's all nice and neat. So these little shorter wires, you can always get rid of at the beginning if you want to. Let's cut these down. Always make sure that you don't get any of your flower wires as well. The last thing you want to do is cut the wrong bit. Let's cut all of these off, all those leftovers. Now I've misplaced my flat nose pliers, but you'll then take your flat nose pliers and just squash in that wire on the base, like so, and the same on this side as well. Squash that down, and that will keep you nice and neat. Then your pin can go back in, and then we'll give this a lovely little shape. Now, I quite like the fact that the flower opens up more. If you wanted to, you could take some of your leftover wire and you could just bind together a couple of these little pieces. But I quite like the open open finish on them. And I think using the two-tone colours just really gives it that little bit more dimension and even more sparkle. So I've used the Phoenix bundle of beads to create this one. These are your warms, your autumns, your festive, really beautiful colours. I used the deepest, darkest red in there with the lighter red as well, but you can see you could take that into daisies, sunflowers, all sorts of colours, and I've only used 2 strands, so I've still got 18 more strands to go. That is your Phoenix. Venus are your pinks and purples. Chose some of the darker colours in here, but as you can see, you've got fuchsia, you've got beautiful sort of peachy tones in there as well, a little bit of rose gold, which will look absolutely gorgeous. I think this together would look absolutely stunning. That on some of your autumnal colours in your wardrobe are going to look gorgeous. Might have to do one of those. And then Oceanic. Just move my red out of the way. Oceanic, your teals, your blues, your turquoises, absolutely gorgeous colours in here as well. And remember, you're getting 20 strands for $14.99. Phenomenal value for money, and hopefully a really beautiful make that you can manage to do out of them as well, not using many materials either. So guys, I really hope you enjoyed the tutorial this morning. So there we go, just under an hour to make the brooch. And obviously I've been chatting away as well. So doing it at home, it's actually a relatively quick make. Lorna, question, could you use the ends to make leaves after it's attached for the brooch back? Yeah, absolutely. So, in fact, that would look gorgeous with the blue. Let me just pop you back down. You could then use some of your extra sections. If you have a little leaf back here, that's going to be gorgeous as well. You could make it in the same technique, little pop of colour. That's going to be gorgeous for things like buttonholes as well. Really, really lovely. So many different things that you can do with them. And hopefully with these bundles, lots of colours to be able to do as well. Alicia, absolutely love this. Thank you so much, Sarah. I'm off to a wedding now, going to show off some of my handmade jewellery. Have a lovely day. Oh, congratulations to the lovely couple. Hope you have an amazing day. I'm so glad that people can get married again. It's been such a rubbish year. That'll be so lovely for them. Alison, absolutely fabulous. Thank you. Thank you very much. Andrea, what's on the show this Wednesday? What is on the show this Wednesday? I have some lovely wire wrapped earrings. Do you want to see? I've actually done these as a tutorial on Facebook already, but we've got some amazing colours and some extra shapes that I've added in. So wire wrapped earrings, some really lovely shapes and styles. You'll get 10 sets, 10 pairs of earrings out of the sets. Gorgeous coils. Triangles, squares, circles, drops, teardrops, all sorts of things. Some amazing colours in there. So wire wrapped earrings. I've also got some of my Diamante macrame. What else have we got? Summer roses. So you've pretty much all had a sneak peek on Facebook. We haven't yet had them on telly. And some amazing bundles as well. So if you do love your French beading, if you liked the summer roses that I did, I think that was maybe about 3 weeks ago when I was down with Kitty. If you like the summer roses, we've got some amazing French beading bundles as well, and some beaded chainmail. Oh, and hang on. I wonder if I have it to hand. Hold on, let me see if I've got these bracelets here to show you. Do you want a sneak peek? Haven't asked Kitty if I can do this, but I'm sure she won't mind. So I came up with a lovely little way of using some of our new faceted barrels. Now, these bracelets, I have to say, are a fave. It's using a really lovely pattern that we have used previously using hourglass beads, peanut beads. And when I saw the faceted barrels, here you go, I just thought they would make the most beautiful strap bracelets. So faceted barrels, some lovely crystals, and some lovely seed beads as well. Oh, Doris says, thank you, Sarah. I have to go. Got customers. Yay, well done, Doris. Hope you have a lovely, busy day. These I just think are absolutely stunning. We've got sets that will make multiple bracelets and a surprisingly easy make. We've got some gorgeous buttons on there as the clasp fittings. So these, I think... we don't have loads of stock of them. Look at how sparkly they are. I think they're going to be super popular, and I absolutely love them. And not only do I have these on telly on Wednesday, but these are going to be my Facebook Live on Tuesday. So you will get a sneak launch. So you've had a sneak peek, and then you will also get a pre-launch launch on Tuesday. So hopefully you can join me for that. So naughty showing you everything. Have a look on the events as well. Everything will be on there. And that's an exciting one. I'm looking forward to that. Okay, guys, so I will see you tomorrow morning. You've got me for the next 2 days. Sorry. Me tomorrow, and then the beautiful bracelets on Tuesday. I can't remember what I'm doing tomorrow. My diary is in the other room. I think it's macrame tomorrow, actually. Have a little look on the events page. Kitty always keeps us right on there. Her and I always say everything just blurs and molds into one. It's really hard to keep an eye and keep your mind on what is happening each day. But have a little look. We always keep the diary up to date, and that will let you know what we're doing in the mornings as well. So I'll see you 10 o'clock tomorrow morning. Hope you have a great rest of your Sunday. Looks like we've got reasonable weather throughout the country, so I hope you enjoy whatever you are doing, and I will see you in the morning. Take care, everyone. Happy Sunday. Enjoy the rest of your day.